I'm Reverend Dr. Robert Shore-Goss. I'm senior pastor at a Church Alive MCC in the Valley. And I also wear another hat and am an adjunct professor of religious studies at California State University, Northridge, and I teach also every other semester at Claremont School of Theology. The purpose of MCC in the Valley is it is a church that started 40 years ago that was part of a movement initially with gays and lesbians, and then added with bisexual and transgendered and intersex queer folks as the mission evolved. And it was to be an inclusive church for those who have been excluded. And we are now in the process of taking that mission of radical inclusive love, following the ministry of Jesus, to become more inclusive, to reach out to the heterosexual community, to create a unique experiment of LGBTQI folks and heterosexuals that can work together to celebrate Christ's love for us. Well, I think if it wasn't for the MCC movement, you would not have in the Episcopal Church the ordination of an open gay bishop, Gene Robertson, and or even the auxiliary bishop here, a lesbian here in the Episcopal Church. So I think it's impacted that. You look at what's happened with the United Church of Christ in the 1970s. They ordained their first person, and I think it was, again, pioneer as a gay man in 1971. The MCC movement has performed in its history over 100,000 same-sex weddings. That's more than all the churches combined in the United States in its history. When I look at the prejudices, and I have to call it religious bigotry, because I think it is religious bigotry, because there is a particular reading that they're using of the text or tradition that is, first, it tends to be misogynistic. There's a real dislike for women in there. And then secondly, it's homophobic language is based on misogyny. So I will say one important thing for all those who watch this: if we want to eliminate homophobia, we have to first eliminate misogyny, the fear and hatred of women in those traditions. I strive to set up a community and help people to advance on their journeys towards God. And that journey is never a straight journey. It is always a journey with many weaves and curves through it. But we try to equip people with spiritual practices, and we also try to equip people with a vision of service and care, so that when you serve the least, you're serving Christ.